Thank you so much. Very good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having me here as the speaker for this session. And I guess this is the last two session of the day, right? So my name is Wilson. I lead the APAC Solutions Engineering and Architect team here at Poly. And today I'd just like to really take the opportunity to talk about how together with you and Poly, we can help our customer navigating a new world of work, right? So, and really the idea is that, this new world of work didn't really happen overnight. COVID just accelerated what had already been happening over the last 30 years. However, although remote work is now more widely accepted as a productive way of conducting business, but some things and also some perspective haven't really evolved as much as they should have or could have. And the opportunity for the journey forward is to go beyond this concept of hybrid work to something more multi-dimensional and inclusive, something that can drive real meaningful challenge and allow us to reimagine what work really means. And in fact, I talk to many of our customers. They know hybrid working is here to stay and return to office is happening. But many of them, they know the why, but some of them, they are struggling with the what and also the how. So let me explain this. When we think about work and also work experiences, they tend to be composed of these three areas: the people, the technology, and so the space. And over time, the focus on each of these elements has shifted and evolved to enable this new world of work. So let me give you an example. First of all, I think space. Before COVID, we saw many enterprises, they were focusing on spaces. And when COVID hit, many spaces went underutilized during and after COVID. And when it comes to technology, technology is moving at a very, very fast pace. We see new features and products released every week. And it is always very, very difficult to be up to speed with latest and also the greatest. But what is constant here is the people. The shift has changed the definition of work. It puts people at the center, not the office. And according to one of the research conducted by Microsoft, an average of about 41% of employees are considering leaving their job. And I'm sure you are aware of the great resignation all over the headline. And delivering the best employee experience is really paramount to keeping and attracting talents. We want to help our employees, the users, focus at their work. And technology is there to enable that work across spaces, regardless where that might be. It's really no longer just the office or the home office, but anywhere your employees might need or want to be. And this shift to a people-focused approach is a radical departure from defining requirements based on space. And the opportunity in this new world of work is to shift the focus from office space to the unique needs and behaviors of the users so we can best enable their work and create best experiences regardless of their location. But the challenge here is that trying to get an understanding of those unique needs can be really challenging and overwhelming, especially for those large enterprises with thousands of employees. And we all have different needs and behaviors when it comes to how we like to work. And depending on the role, the preferences, the type of work that you are doing at time, and employee needs can change. Some they need to collaborate more with others. Some they need to spend time collaborating with two or more people. Some they prefer like a one-on-one interaction. Some may prefer interactive, synchronous collaboration via video or voice. But where some find is more efficient to just IM or email to get their to move forward with their work. So based on their choice of location, they may prefer to collaborate more often via virtual means instead of meeting face to face in the office. Some may prefer video collaboration. Some may find video really overwhelming and prefer to balance video with more voice call. And in terms of space, many prefer the flexibility of working remote, while others, they probably don't have a quiet place at home. So they would prefer to spend their working hours from office location. So all of those combination of preferences and behaviors can be categorized into what we call a work style persona, right? And Poly has been doing this persona research for more than 10 years. And recently, we just completed and updated our research. And what we found here is that the key dimensions that allow us to identify categories of work styles that have similar needs and behaviors. And this framework enables employees to self-identify as a particular work style and helps the company understanding key requirements and behaviors that can help our users better deliver on the needs of the employees. And understanding and meeting the needs of your employees is really critical in the new world of work. When we deliver those needs, we need to deliver those needs. And if you can't deliver an experience and environment that give them what they need, they will find it somewhere else. As I mentioned earlier on, we all heard about the Great Resignation is all over the headline. So now probably you may be wondering, what is this persona Wilson is talking about, and why are they so important? So let's maybe start by defining what the persona is and why this type of research is important to Poly. So personas is a type of segmentation that is based on qualitative and quantitative research that covers almost 100% of the work style in a typical enterprise environment. And the quantitative research tells us the incident rates and broad scale research based insight, where the qualitative really adds flavor and color to the personalities of these different personas. And each personas represent a significant portion of the people in the workforce. So personas are really vital because they drive design decisions by taking common user needs and bringing them to the forefront of planning before the design actually started. So personas provide the team with a shared understanding of users in terms of goal, pain points, capabilities. So the discovered personas enable Poly, right, to create products specifically for different types of work style, rather than just a one size fit all, a generic everybody approach. So we can then use this research in a lot of different ways. A key area a lot of our customers they are concerned about right now is planning for return to work, as their users they are trying to figure out what a more flexible workforce or hybrid workforce might look like. So we can use this research to help guide our customers to experience, to build the experience their employees want. So on the other one very important area of the data shows is that, one size does not fit all. Okay. This policy around technology deployment, they don't really work. So we can use this research to share how companies can better personalize application and also match the work style by using specific technologies and also devices based on known user behavior. And if the users, they are more comfortable with their devices, um, and if their devices fit their work style, the workers will be more productive and happier. So therefore, improving user adoption of the devices. So as mentioned, Poly, we have been doing this work style uh, um, research for almost more than 10 years now. But planning um, for the return to office is really more than just space planning, right? It's about designing experiences for this new hybrid world of work. So the experiences that will drive people to the office that build connection while maximizing the experiences for those in the office and those who are remote. And I'm sure you heard about meeting equality a lot, right? So to do that, we need to understand what activities people will perform in the office and design spaces to create the best environment to perform those activities to drive outcomes, build connection, strengthen community. And from the research, we notice all employees tend to do these three category activities across different locations and spaces. First of all, focus. Individual work where your employee will need to have minimal interruption and privacy. Connect. Second, this is where we connect out with our peers, socialize and create ties that we need to build and maintain culture. And connecting is about collaborating with internal and also external team to work on problems, present new ideas, and also brainstorm on new innovation. Last but not least, learn. Learning is more than just training. It's all hands event, lunch and learn, and presentation to bring awareness to a new program or policy. And all these activities will take place in the office or in other locations. So ensuring flexibility, consistency, and equality is really key in this new hybrid work. So in this case, by understanding the work style in organization, we can better design products, experiences across spaces that increase engagement and innovation by eliminating friction to create seamless transition from home office to spaces, from a different space. So this is the part, before I go into some of the product solutions, like how Poly we can help our customers and also users. I just want to quickly run through this with everyone. So because, like I mentioned, understanding the work style is important because work style can help us understanding how to best design the work experience, right? So by understanding some of the key groups, we can understand their needs across the different spaces and also find what's the best technology or devices to enable them. And not just in spaces, but across different locations. So for instance, let's look at remote collaborator work style persona. And by understanding their needs, we can better design the experiences across their day. So data actually tell us that on average, they spend 42% of their time in the office are pre-COVID, but currently only at half of that, meaning that when they are in office, it's about probably 1 day a week, right? And when they're in office, they spend a third of their time away from the desk and focus in the focus or group spaces where most time, being spent in small huddle space room and they have a dedicated home office like myself, right? I'm working from a home office today. So when I go into the office, I expect my employee to provide the basics, like for example, a monitor, headsets, also a 4K or 1080p webcam, because I need to match my home office environment and when I step into the office. And according to our research, about 61% of these remote collaborators work style, they prefer a wireless headset. So they experience noise at home and, when they are in the office, noise blocking technology is so important. And in fact, my neighbor is doing some renovation now, but I doubt you can actually hear them because the headset I'm using right now can really block out all this noise surrounding. So going back to the office, like what I mentioned, they expect a similar experience at home. And they really, the employee really expect, the same level of equipment across different locations. So, however, we also notice there are only probably 40% of the workforce, they expect a desk phone, and this makes sense for remote collaborators because typically they are very heavy users on headset and also they use their PC clients for collaboration. So again, take me for example, I'm a remote collaborator. I have my ultra wide screen monitor in front of me right now, a beautiful 4K USB video bar, wireless headset I'm wearing now, my laptop and my mouse. So when I go to the office, I will only be taking with me my laptop and also my mouse. Right. I won't be really taking over my ultra wide screen all over. So I expect some level of like devices in the office for me to do my work. And there are three top activities when a remote collaborator step into the office. So there are department meetings, training, collaboration sessions, and by we need to really understand when they step into all these different spaces, what are some of the activities they're doing, right? For example, large room, for departments meeting. So we know each work style feels how they feel and also what make them to be more productive. So for example, a digital whiteboard and also multiple camera in the technologies. So they can actually use all these different cameras to make sure they cover the entire room, all right? And also, for example, um, if they step into the office and they say, hey, I need some time to go into the training room, we need to ensure training room is equipped with also multiple technology, multiple cameras technology, and also maybe a quiet room where they can actually have a bring your own device kind of setup. So I just want to quickly, show a possible day in the life for a remote collaborator, right? So we know that remote collaborator spends between 60 to 80% of their time working from home, but depending on the company policy and culture, the employee may start their day in the home office and then move over to the office as part of the day for some key office activities. And in this instance, the employee will start, in their home office, then transition to a car and commute to the office. From there, when they reach office, they will need to they will need to go through maybe a workspace reservation, a kiosk to find a place they can work. So given, I think, from our research, only 40% of the remote collaborators, they have assigned seating. So it's important to have available spaces to use and reserve those on an ad hoc basis. So, however, we all know that, some conversations will need to be a little bit more private. So focus room, they are critical spaces in this hybrid world. So let's have a look at each of these spaces, and the experience they can deliver. So let's start from home office. So working from home, especially a remote centric worker, is really a critical space where you need to be able to focus, but also connect with others across the organization or even with external. So no matter your office has a door, or I know some users, they actually use their kitchen table double up as their workspace. So managing noise is so important, so that you can focus on just your conversation and also your meeting and your work. So we know webcam is really critical for a remote collaborator, right? So the one that I'm using now has a 4K sensor. I want to make sure, I can have the best, I can deliver the best experience, so I can always look and also sound best. And we all know fatigue is real. And to be able to move around my home office, right, or give myself a break from video at times, I need devices to do that. So wireless headset, which we know are preferred by a lot of remote collaborators, give you that freedom. Optional speakerphone, give you another hands-free option as well. And of course, we just want all these devices to work. So using a software that is able to do update and also customization is also very critical. So we do have the software to be able to manage all the devices. So you don't have to worry about, software upgrade and also managing those devices. So now, after we have cleared, some important emails and ready to head to the office for some work. So hot desking area is really another area that, is critical. So we need to understand who will be using this area and make sure each of these space has what is needed to support a seamless transition to the office and make the work environment equal to their home environment. So enable users to reserve space, roll up their laptop, plug in their laptop, and get to work. A place, for their headsets. And according to research, right, many of them, they will be happily bringing in their headsets and mouse because those are quite personal, right? So for me, when I go into the office, I always bring my headset into the office, and I'll just find a desk, hot desk area, and dock my headset, and it will automatically pair with all my devices, my laptop, my phones. So and we also need to ensure that they will have access to high quality video, a webcam, even a desk phone. And by providing headset stocking, and also good headsets, right? So we can provide same level of clarity, like with noise block technology. So for example, when they focus, when they are doing that at home, so the user can really minimize the distraction, even in this kind of open space. So in this case, right, when I step into the office, usually I just dock to the docking station, and I have all these devices to use. So, but there are times we need to take our conversation a little bit more private, right? Maybe some HR discussion, finance, accounting discussion. So for those confidential discussion, we would like to get into a huddle space or focus room. So Data also suggests, remote work style, for these remote collaborators, they usually work across 2 to 3 locations, and most of them, they work in open spaces, and therefore creating a need for privacy. And when you need a more quiet space to focus and have a private conversation, you need to have the option for those users in the open space or assigned seating. Make it easy to reserve, right? Make it easy to use, and we give them options. So depending on the work style distribution, you may want to support a BYOD, bring your own device approach, with plug and play, or a more native experience with simple one-touch join without laptop, or perhaps you have that some native experience with USB or HDMI option to support collaboration, to support all different collaboration platforms, whether it's Teams or Zoom or GoTo, and do simple content sharing, right? Regardless of the platform. So you just want to make sure that you deploy the room with technology that have all these things, and also block out the noise, and also minimize the distraction while providing the highest quality of audio and also video, right? So in the second half of the day, you may need to connect um, with people, right? With some of the meeting activities. So brainstorming session with a team to help ideate new projects, and also project enhancement, maybe update to the executive team on the product launch. So important se- those are important sessions of the day, before you may want to head home. So then, finish the day with additional meetings from the home office, and also basically making the most of a flexible schedule to drive engagement and also a balance for the employees. So now let's take a look at the experiences in some of these group spaces. In this uh, medium size meeting room, the focus is really teamwork, and in the hybrid world, the teamwork has no boundaries. The experience need to really blend in the virtual and also the physical experience, and be really easy to schedule and set up. So, the experience should be very familiar and also native, and just work. So people on the far end, they will need to have the best view of the people in the room, and we are so used to our own box, right? Our own square, like when we are joining a Zoom meeting. So just like when you are at home, without any additional equipment or work for the people in the room, the camera just got to be really intelligent. So, it follows the speaker automatically. So, with our poly meeting AI technology, so we are able to track speakers, automatically frame people when they are having a conversation. So the participants then can focus just on the meeting instead of all the different technology, knowing that virtual participants will have the best view of what is happening in the room and bring meeting equality to the participants. So finally, I think the room and the technology is always ready, always up to date, with a single touch of a button. So Poly mission is really to bring meeting equality to people at the remote site, and also workers at basically any other location, right? So, like what I mentioned, we are so used to having our own square, or box in the meeting, right? So with Polydirector AI, so you automatically find and frame each participant, making sure everyone has their own square, right, in the meeting to deliver meeting equality. So now if we move to the large room or large boardroom, right? So executive meetings need to be focused on the meeting, but not the technology. So we have to make sure that room comes with easy to use control, one touch join, and basically multiple intelligent cameras that provide the best view of everyone in the room, and easy to use camera controls when you need that. So not just that, we also need to look at audio, right? Optimize audio and also audio AI, and that can really ensure everyone has had a chance to speak and voice their opinion and concerns, knowing they are coming across loud and clear. So, we they we have the technology that really remove the frictions and ensures meeting equalities, means faster, better decision and also a more productive meeting. So what about the other space that you may be wondering, like, training room, or space for learning? So when we are blending the physical and also virtual learning environment, it's important that everyone can be seen and heard to maintain that level of engagement as well as to increase participation, right? And knowledge retention. So it's important for participants to get the best view of the presenter and the participants, no matter their location. So virtual participants, they will need to see the presenter and the participants so they can follow the conversation and the participants more effectively. So for example, when a participant is asking question, right? So we want to be able to follow the presenter and also the part the participant, right? To have a multiple view captured by multiple cameras in the room to deliver meeting equality to remote participants. Right. So those are some of the spaces and also examples equipped with poly devices and also meeting AI technologies, how we can deliver, some of these spaces with technology and devices. So spaces, they are important, but we should always put people in the center of work. So according to research, only 47% of the workforce, they are satisfied with their office today. So therefore, we need to better understand the different work style to design the best possible working experience for your customer or to the users. So how can we help here? How can Poly help? As mentioned, Poly has been doing persona research for more than a decade, more than 10 years. We have the tools and the framework to help our customer to understand their employees' work style better. And we have all the devices and technologies ranging from wireless, wired, DAC headset, speaker and conference phone, USB camera, video bar, and so on and so on. So truly end to end. And covering all these different spaces from home office, ranging from focus room, huddle space, small, medium, large room. And it's important with this end to end, right? So, why it's important is because we really don't want our users or customer to worry about compatibility and also integration, whether this will work with that or not. So because when it's from Poly, it just works. And we have the platform to manage all these devices, across different platforms, Microsoft, Zoom, GoTo, for example. So there are really a lot of technologies you'll find with Poly devices, with Poly Meeting AI, which helps to block out noise super effectively, making sure you be heard loudly and not the noise surrounding you. And with video tracking AI, we are able to really track and frame the participants in the gallery view, in the gallery automatically. So this is my last slide. My call out here is that we really believe that we need to focus on the unique needs of the employees. And this is one opportunity to be successful in the new world of work. And we would love to help you with, the survey of your users and employees so we can better understand the work style of distribution of a key location, department, or entire workforce. So by identifying those needs and behaviors, then we can use those data to help you better define the technology solutions, to design spaces for your return to office strategy, right? And also hybrid work strategy. So, with that, I thank you for your time and your participation, and I hope this presentation has been insightful and also helpful to you. So with that, I'm passing back to the host, and I also have a look at the Q&A if there's anything, if there's any questions that requires to go through and answer.